Remember after game one when we all cautioned that Toronto was still a very good team and the Raptors still had a chance to make it a series? Yeah, well, after game two, that ship has sailed. I mean, not technically. Teams that have lost the first two games of the best-of-7 series at home have come back to win a whopping, 15% of the time? But none of those teams were the Raptors being tormented by LeBron James. You see that look on Drake's face? That is the look of a man whose team has now lost 8 straight playoff games to the Cavaliers. And while still no one in the Toronto locker room would acknowledge this might be psychological, those of us in the building last night could feel the air get almost unbreathable. Kevin Love was in full cook mode as the Raptors inexplicably kept switching smaller players onto him. Because, yeah, that's a good strategy. In case you were wondering, no, CJ Miles cannot check Love. Love would finish with 31 points and 11 rebounds. But, as always, the biggest story was LeBron, whose own stat line was just obnoxious. 43 points, 14 assists, 8 rebounds, with 15 of those points coming off a series of absurd fadeaways.
Fadeaway, it's smooth. Oh, LeBron! That thing was in the air so long, it should have had a movie on it. Still sizzling. He's hotter than fish grease. Wow. What you expect? 39 for LeBron James. And it's butter. LeBron with 41. Heat check. We're speechless, Hubie Brown. No.
Oh, and if it looked like LeBron was taking those shots just for fun, just to test how much he could get away with, he sort of was. Listen to Love talking here after the game.
There's certain times, I would say seeing Bron in shoot-arounds or seeing him in his preparation where he's going to have a big night. And this morning you could just sense it. When he went over his right shoulder and then went over his left shoulder, he said when he got the mismatch that he was going to do that. So he actually called his shots this morning.
Amazing. Oh, and here's another amazing thing. Those shots and a bunch of the rest of the jumpers LeBron took. Well, Raptors coach Dwayne Casey can kind of blame himself for that. Back in 2011, Casey was an assistant coach for the Mavericks and really the team's defensive coordinator. He's the one who helped design the Dare LeBron to Shoot attack that won Dallas that year's finals. Well, guess what?
I worked extremely hard on my jump shot, and then a few years after my first year in Miami, I started to work on my post game and ways I can score in the post and be just very efficient. And tonight was just a byproduct of that. Dwayne Casey drew up a game plan against me in that 11 series in the finals when I played Dallas to take away things that I was very good at and to try to make me do things that I wasn't very good at. So he's part of the reason why I am who I am today.
I can't imagine that's going to be much comfort to Casey today, as his Raptors team, the best Raptors team in the history of the franchise, has yet to show it can climb the mountain it spent an entire year preparing to scale. And now they all fly to Cleveland, technically to keep playing this series, which actually isn't over, even though it sure feels like it. Now, I mentioned how quiet it was at the arena last night. Not everybody in the building was quiet, though. If none of you have had the chance to watch a game with Tracy McGrady, let me tell you, there's some talking to the point of where we just had to make a list of the top 3 things. It's like Letterman style. We didn't give you all 10 because, frankly, a bunch of them were not suitable for a family program. But these are the top 3 things that Tracy said during the game last night. Number 3, damn, they knocked the fight even out of Drake. Number 2,
you're right about that.
I can't even fault the Raptors. This is LeBron's fault. And number 1, they can't get swept now. That's the only mission. So I guess that's the question. I got to start with you. Mark Jones was on the call for ESPN last night. He came up with LeBronto, which I believe was also what Toronto's Wikipedia page was changed to briefly yesterday evening. Do you think if it's the mission for the Raptors not to get swept, we will be back here in LeBronto?
I actually said last night that they will be opening this gym up in October for preseason. I mean, LeBron and the Cavs shut this building down. The reason why I say that is because LeBron, who is averaged 44 minutes in the first round, and I mean spent a lot of minutes out on a basketball court to advance his team to the second round. I think he has a chance to close this series out early. Who knows how long that other series is going to go. For him to get some rest and get ready for the Eastern Conference Finals. I don't see the Raptors bouncing back from this. One thing they have allowed is to let those role players wake up and start making shots now. And this is going to be tough from here on out.
Everything that Tracy just said is 100% right. But I don't trust this Cavs team. They still give up 54% shooting last night, still give up 62% or 62 points in the paint. And because of that, and because they've been inconsistent all year long, I'm not ready to declare that the Cavs will put their foot on Toronto.
You know what?
Cavaliers can't give up this
Let
year.
me. I asked Rachel something before we was on air. I asked Rachel. I said, "Did the Cavs lead last night?"
Yes.
And she said, "Yeah, they did lead." And that's what? That's
Uncharacteristic
uncharacteristic.
for them this year.
It's been known for them to stay in cities after games. It's a 6 o'clock start.
It's a business trip for
excuse
these
me.
guys.
He is completely right. That is
right.
unusual for them
Right.
this year.
That's true.